session is primarily for carers, as it's Carers Week this week, but it is a practice that is accessible to all. It's going to be a chair practice, so no need for any fancy equipment or having to move around in a certain way. The session I'm going to offer is one to help create space within ourselves. During these times when there's so many restrictions, as carers you might not be getting the support that you're used to, that you might usually need and have far greater responsibilities at home, so might not have the space that you need. So through yoga we can use postures and the breath and focus on the mind to help us create space in the here and now. So I'm going to share with you how we can do this. So first of all, we're just going to do a few simple movements. So just come to sitting comfortably. You might need a cushion for your back or some support under your feet if your feet don't touch the floor. And then I just want you to invite yourself to come into your body, into the here and now. And what that means is, I just want you to start to become aware of how your body feels. So to do that, you might want to just sweep your awareness from the top of your head all the way down to your toes and back up again. It might be helpful to put a hand on the abdomen or on the chest. And I just invite you to feel into any areas of tension. So allowing your awareness to particularly pick up on points where you might feel some constriction in the body, some tightness. And just noticing that. Noticing how that feels and where you feel it. And now bring your awareness to any areas where you feel lightness in the body, where you feel space and softness and a sense of ease. Notice where those parts are in the body and how they feel. And then letting that go and bringing your awareness to your breath. You can keep your hands where they are if that's helpful. For you just to notice where you feel your breath. Feeling it in the abdomen or in the chest. And as you notice the cycle of your breath, as you breathe in and breathe out, I'd like you to notice any areas of tension in the breath. Anywhere where it might start to feel a little constricted or more effort required. And there's nothing to worry about if you feel that. The breath is carrying on in its cycle of breathing in and breathing out all by itself. But just to notice that. And then notice where your breath feels more easeful. Where it feels like there is space to breathe in your body. Maybe it's the freshness of the air as it comes into the nose or the softness of the abdomen. And then you can release your hands, just have them rested in your lap. And I invite you now to bring your awareness to your mind and just notice how full your mind feels or how empty your mind feels. And you might notice how many thoughts you're having, the speed of those thoughts, your ability to remain focused on what I'm saying. mind's eagerness perhaps to move on and get to something else. And maybe thinking of the mind as a bowl or a container. Just asking yourself, how full is my mind? Is this container full? Has it reached its capacity? Or is there room for those thoughts to move around and have space? So often when we have extra responsibilities, we perhaps have less physical space or options to go out and get space. It can become very overwhelming and our capacity can soon reach its limit. And so smaller responsibilities or tasks, requests can really just tip us over the edge. So just letting your awareness drop away from your mind, and we're going to come into some really gentle movements. So first, we're going to just move the shoulders a little bit. So I want you to inhale the shoulders up and exhale, let the shoulders roll down. Inhale up, exhale down. So when we get stressed, just keep it going with the movement. When we get stressed, we have this natural sort of habitual tendency to raise our shoulders and create this kind of holding stress pattern in our body, which reduces space. It reduces space in our chest, our shoulders come up, and it creates more tension. So imagine now we're just unwinding that tension. And at the same time, as the shoulders slide back down, we're creating space between the ears and the shoulders. So we're physically creating space in the body, allowing the shoulders to move easily, just like they're so smooth and soft as the shoulder blades glide down the back. And they don't have to be big movements, so we don't need to make effort, just like little movements, easeful shoulder movements. And then your last one, just letting the shoulders relax down and just consciously becoming aware of the distance between your ears and your shoulders. Maybe the space at the chest and the space at the back of your shoulder blades. Letting your elbows relax, your hands and your fingers. Now we're just going to move into a side stretch. So bringing one hand down by your side and reach the other arm up. Take a nice inhale and exhale as you bend over. So we don't need to go too far here, but I want you to become first aware of the distance between your hip and your fingertips. So just noticing the space between those 2 points. If there's any discomfort in the shoulder, just easing the arm back a little bit. And then I want you to become aware of the stretch in the side body. So we're physically creating extra space in the ribs, the lungs, the whole side of this body. And then become aware of the breath. And notice how the breath might be more easily move into this side of the lung, into this side of the rib cage. Okay, inhaling up, exhaling, release that arm and let that shoulder relax back down again. And we'll do the other side. So inhaling the arm up and exhaling, leaning over to one side. Again, first noticing the distance between the hip and the fingertips. Noticing the stretch of the side body. And the opening of the rib cage on this side. so the breath can more easily flow into this extra space we've created. And maybe also noticing the compression in one side of the body that we're curved over to. And noticing how in life, or in our bodies and in life, there can be areas of compression or tension, but equally at the same time there can be the balancing of the space that we can create. So the two can occur simultaneously, in harmony almost. Inhaling up, exhaling back down, and just relax the shoulders, give them a roll if that's creating a little sensation in the shoulders there. Okay, now we're going to bring the hands together at the heart and just take a moment to feel the press of the hands against one another and the connection of the hands at the centre of your being. And we're going to stretch the arms out wide. So we're opening the front of the chest here, stretching the arms out, the fingertips out, and I want you to become aware of the space between the fingertips. All the space in front of your body, in front of your arms, and then all that space behind your body, behind the arms and the back. Occupying that space, stretching the muscles, creating space right through the arms. And as you inhale, draw the arms up, come to center, and draw them back down to your heart. And we'll do that again. So inhaling the arms out and up, exhaling, hands back down to heart, and just continuing that a few times with your own breath. And as you reach your arms out and up, I really want you to feel that you're really taking your space, you're reaching yourself to your perimeters, taking your space, and then as you exhale you're drawing that space down within you. So inhaling, reaching all the space, taking your space, and exhaling, bringing that space within you. And you might notice as you raise the arms it can be a little bit easier for the breath to make its way into the body. Okay, and relaxing back down. Okay, there we go. So that's just a couple of simple movements we're going to do. And now we're going to move on to breath practice. So the breath is a really useful tool for us to access at any time, especially when we're feeling a bit overwhelmed, anxious, stressed out. It's always accessible to us. It's always in the present moment, and we do have the ability to control the breath. So we can use the breath to physically create more space in the body, and we can also use it to sort of slow down and pause by putting some level of control on the breath. So in times when we're feeling a little bit frantic, we can just take a breath, even if it's one, it's great. So to do that, we're just going to bring a hand onto the abdomen and a hand back onto the chest. And first just becoming aware again of where you feel your breath. You might feel it more in the chest than the abdomen, or vice versa. But the invitation really is for you to breathe more into the belly, into the lower hand. So that as you inhale, the belly rises, And as you exhale, the belly falls. So here the shoulders remain relaxed. Often there's a tendency when we consciously breathe or feel we have to take deep breaths, we automatically go like this. And there we have that same sort of tension pattern again. So just relax in the shoulders like we did at the start. As you inhale, belly rises. And as you exhale, belly falls. And there's no rush, just going at your regular breath pattern. And just letting the breath find its way into the body and out of the body. Just trusting that it will find its way all by itself. And now as you breathe into the belly, I want you to feel that you're creating space in the body. So as you breathe in and the belly rises, we're literally creating space in the body for the breath to come in. So feel that space now. If it's helpful to move the hands like I'm doing, you can do that. And then as you exhale, I want you to feel like you're making space in the body. So the old air is moving out of the way, it's moving out the body, so the new fresh energy and prana, we call it in yoga, the fresh new breath can come into the body. So your inhale, creating space, and exhale, making space. So you can repeat that to yourself if that's helpful. Inhaling, creating space, and exhaling, making space. So just continuing like that, and I'm just going to talk you through a little bit further. So often when we're feeling particularly stressed, pressured, overwhelmed, we feel we have to wait for something to happen in order to take space. We need to do something before we can have space. But actually the space is here and it's now and it's in the present moment. And it's always accessible to us. So you might like to say, as you breathe, I am taking my space. Or words to that effect. It might be, I am space. I am taking my space. So just like when we moved the arms around us and stretched our arms up and you were physically taking the space around you, that too can happen with the breath. With some gentle effort to guide the breath and guide your awareness to that space and that gentle flow of the breath as you inhale, creating space, and exhale, making space. As we breathe slowly and gently like this, it allows our nervous system to relax, and it is too through relaxation and softening of the body that we can create even more space and ease within ourselves. So on your next exhale, just allowing the hands to drop down. Maybe having a little bit of a move and a wiggle. And then bringing your hands to your centre. And just acknowledging for yourself as you close the practice that by doing these practices for yourself, you are truly, truly providing benefit to all others as well. And what I meant to add earlier, I just remembered, was also not to underestimate the touch of your hands on yourself. So as you hold the body to breathe, knowing that the hands are an extension of the heart, just allow that touch to be of nurture and of compassion for yourself and for all others. Okay, so do take care, lots of love.